Hello, sports fan. This is Stephen Hill for Sports Choice Plus, and I'm bringing you a very special Mailbag Friday breakdown. I got a couple of requests for to answer a couple of mailbag questions, so this is going to be one of those videos I'm going to be covering. It looks like the question goes, can you name the top 5 NFL head coaches that you think are going to lose their job this year or before next year? I could definitely give you a lot of those answers. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel right now so you can get all the NFL prediction update videos, and you can get help with fantasy football. You can get help with picking games for your bets, and you can also get helps with making sure you have the best possible lineup so you can kick all your friends' butt on Fantasy Football Fridays. Let's get right into the action. But I will say this was kind of hard because you got a lot more than 5 coaches that I think are going to get canned before the end of the year. But we'll start at number 5 and work our way down. Coming in at number 5, Adam Gase, the head coach of the New York Football Jets. You're looking at just what he brings to the table. He was considered to be an offensive guru for his time of helping Peyton Manning in Denver. He then parlayed that into a head coaching job in Miami, where he was quickly ousted and fired. And then you look at just what he's able to do in the Jets organization. Right now, he is on thin ice. You look at just what the New York Jets have done since getting Sam Darnold to the NFL. Even though he suffered with a couple of injuries, he's not really been doing anything moving forward with his NFL career as a quarterback as of yet. He hasn't shown us a whole lot, and I think a lot of that is part of that is Adam Gase. His inability to coach up his players, his inability to connect with his players. That's one of the biggest things if you're an NFL head coach, what you have to do. You have to be able to relate to your guys. You have to be able to make sure that they understand you're with them, and you have to be a fearless leader if you're an NFL head coach. The guys are looking to you for not only discipline, not only leadership, but the ability to lead men. That's going to be very important if you're looking for an NFL head coach. And if he's not good with his locker room, or he doesn't have that kind of relationship, it's rare that it does work. I know you have a couple of coaches that can do that and get away with it, but I think Adam Gase, this is your time to go ahead and get up out there right now. Coming to number 4, believe it or not, Matt Nagy of the Chicago Bears. You're looking at Matt Nagy, and he's married to Mitchell Trubisky. If Mitchell Trubisky does not make something of himself this year and get a contract extension, you can definitely bet your bottom dollar that Matt Nagy may be out on the streets the very next day. You're looking at what he did last year. 8-8 it's okay. It's not acceptable. But you're asking yourself, for the Chicago Bears, what are your goals? Your goal is to be a Super Bowl contender and win the Super Bowl. You're looking at just what you bring to the table with Nagy, an offensive guy. Even though he has a pretty good defense, he's not really putting together a season as of right now that you would say, okay, he's going to keep his job. You know, he made the trade for Nick Foles, and you're seeing just exactly what that's going to do as far as helping him stay if Nick Foles doesn't start. The Bears, have been okay during his time. He had the big thing to do with the kicking problem that he had, I guess, with the last year, and just what all those things brought to the table. But Matt Nagy is to be held accountable if the Bears do not make the playoffs. With the NFC North being as wide open as it is right now, it's time for the Chicago Bears to hold accountability up to Matt Nagy and that coaching staff. They have to make sure they're producing on offense, they're producing on defense. You have a pretty good team as of right now. You should be locked and loaded and ready to challenge for an NFL Super Bowl at this point with that kind of roster and with that kind of firepower you have on the defensive side of the ball. So that's my number 4 is Matt Nagy. Coming in number 3, Matt Patricia of the Lions. When you look at the last couple of years, every single year basically that he's had the team, he's either been in last place or second to last place for most of the year. You look at him trading away Slay and him going to the Philadelphia Eagles, he doesn't have a good relationship with his players. This guy disconnects. It's almost like a Belichick kind of thing where he disconnects from his actual guys. Just the whole being late to meetings, not really showing up on time. Your players see those things. If you're an actual head coach, when you're late to position meetings and not really disciplined on those things, it shows up, and it shows up very badly in your review from a team and your review for your players. Matt Nagy, did a little better than Matt Patricia with the locker room, but You're looking at Matt Patricia, and what is his talent? It's supposed to be on defense, but yet the Lions are getting blown out each and every week. He's firing coordinators. He fires different players if they talk back, or don't buy into his system. But Matt Patricia has to realize this is a business. You need these guys that you're trading away to win games. So that's my number 3 with Matt Patricia. I think that they should have never given him a head coaching job right then and there. I think he needs a lot more work as far as being a professional, as far as game planning, as far as doing so many different things that he doesn't do well. And you hear the screams and the murmurs out of different players that were formerly in that locker room in Detroit or either currently on that team that are basically saying, hey, look, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. So that's where we're at with number 3. Coming number 2, Bill O'Brien. The Houston Texans have some decisions to make at the end of the year. If Bill O'Brien is still head coach at the Houston Texans, I will be very surprised by the end of the year. I will be shocked. Just seeing what he's done, he's traded away all of his talent basically for 50 cents on a dollar in trade value. He doesn't have a real direction as far as Deshaun Watson. You look at him giving up DeAndre Hopkins and Jadeveon Clowney for basically nothing. It speaks volumes. Do you have that much of an issue with your big talented stars that you have to get rid of them so they can't have a voice in your locker room? That's what really sucks at this point. So, I don't know. Bill has had a couple of pretty good seasons as far as making the playoffs, but they're giving him a reward of an extension and letting him make football decisions. So it's not really a good, situation overall. But I think that when you're looking just at Bill O'Brien, he has a talented roster still. He can still make some noise. He can still do some things well and possibly make the playoffs and, actually advance in the first round. That would be spectacular if he was able to do that. But I just think, Texans ownership have to get tired of him losing games, trading away talent. It's just one of those things. Coming in last, number 1, Dan Quinn, the Atlanta Falcons head coach. And you look at this, he's tied to Thomas Dimitroff, the general manager. And if one goes, they both have to go. Because this is a project that literally so many people thought was going to do a lot better. When you have a team that has Matt Ryan on it, Julio Jones on it, Calvin Ridley on it, when you look at just the running back positions, what they can do with Todd Gurley and company, I don't know. It's disappointing that they didn't go ahead and fire him last year. And they gave up that crazy victory to the Dallas Cowboys. That was uncalled for. So it's just so many things that go wrong with the Atlanta franchise, whether it be the hiring, whether it be the firing, whether it be anything that's going on there. But those are my top 5 lists of the guys that I think they're going to be terminated this year from the head coaching positions, either this year or next year. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Also, don't let me forget, go ahead and make sure you're subscribing, sharing the videos in your Facebook group. And also, if you need any questions with your fantasy football, your gambling lines, anything like that, feel free to definitely leave the comments in the comment section below. Make sure you're subscribed, and then we'll check you out each and every week. And if you need any help, just ask. That's what we're here for, to make sure you're entertained and informed with a lot of that information. Until then, next time, have a great one, y'all.